It's the 5 most fascinating people in Swift Current. Proudly sponsored by the Swift Current Mall, the Center at 1 and 4, Moose World Inc., the Lyric Theatre, Swift Current's home for the performing arts, the Prairie Post, Prairie Life, Prairie People, and by Southwest TV News, reporting the stories that matter to you.
Swift Current Mall is a proud partner of this program, which showcases 5 fascinating individuals. These individuals have made Swift Current their home, and they've made major contributions towards the community.
In today's spotlight, Ron Heeg, who for the past 45 years has provided the very best in service as a pharmacist and partner in his patients' health. Ron Heeg was a young, newly married pharmacist just 5 years out of university when he came to Swift Current to open up his first drugstore in November of 1964. Recently, Ron gathered his highly valued staff, friends, and family, as well as many of their customers, to join him and business partner Al Chilton in celebrating 45 years in the pharmacy business in Swift Current. A success he attributes to a few key business decisions he made in the early days.
I think from day one I always felt that customer service was the most important part of your business. You know, I can remember when we opened that particular day, there was items we didn't have. And I always felt that, I said, no, but I'll make sure we stock it or have it on hand. And I think that was a large part of of how we built the business, was to make sure that you give good customer service. You want that customer to be treated like you want to be treated when you go into a place of business.
Second on Ron's list of wise business decisions was one he and fellow pharmacist Elaine Atkinson made to help them stand out from the crowd.
When I opened in 1964, there was a sort of a program that the other pharmacies had in place of taking turns at being open till 8 p.m. at night. I guess maybe it was more of a mixed type schedule that they had, and so I wasn't a part of that. So Elaine and I decided that we would just be open 9 to 9 every day, and on Sundays we offered I think it was 3 to 9 service. And as a result, it was a major decision that we made, and also is a big factor in success of our business. Yeah.
While it was a decision that early on increased their level of business, Atkinson left shortly after to open her own pharmacy in northern Alberta. Heeg was now left to fill those hours alone until that one day in 1970 when he headed back to the University of Saskatchewan to interview a recent graduate of the pharmacy program by the name of Al Chilton.
It was pretty easy, the decision, when after I interviewed him, because I just felt that he was the person I wanted in the pharmacy with me. It's worked out great. Al and his wife Rebecca, a big part of the drugstore.
Working side by side for the first 2 years, Chilton signed on as a full partner in the business in 1972. From there, the two worked diligently to grow the business, both through expansion efforts in their original location and a second mall outlet for 21 years.
When we chose to go to the Wheatland Mall, it was the fact that it was going to be a nice mall. It was a good location, and it was a good location. But we decided, because of the cost of the rent and the maintenance costs up there in 1996, we wouldn't renew our lease.
Pooling the resources of their 2 locations into one under the PharmaSave brand that they had adopted in 1990, the two continue to expand their original location, growing from 2,500 to 8,000 square feet in a continual effort to meet the demands of their customers. An expansion that took on huge proportions when in 2006, the two decided to open what would become and remains PharmaSafe's largest store.
I can always remember walking into this store with Al before we had even put any fixtures, and I said, this is going to take a lot of merchandise. I don't think we'll be ever able to fill this location, but it didn't take long, it seemed, and it's been a very good move.
The years have brought more than just changes to the physical size and locations of his stores. They have also brought with them changes to the roles that a pharmacist has in the overall health of their patients, a role that was embraced by Ron and his team of pharmacists and backed by the PharmaSave brand.
The counseling part, which is a huge part of the prescription business today, was probably non-existent in the earlier years of my career anyway. The whole live well aspect of our PharmaSave group means that we want people to lead healthy lives, choose a healthy lifestyle, through nutrition, through vitamins, and also proper usage of their medications. And with your interactions and possible interactions that exist, this is all a big part of trying to keep your patient well informed, and rather than give them a piece of paper and say, "Here, read that." So no, it's a much different way of practicing, and a much better way of practicing.
In addition to the long hours Ron has put into his store over the years, he has also put in many long hours serving his community. Acting as president of the Swift Current branch of the University of Saskatchewan Alumni Association, president of the Wheatland Mall Merchants Association, president of the Old Timers Hockey Association, and a 36-year involvement with the local Shriners.
I've served as the president of the local Shrine Club in 1978, and then I was appointed to the provincial executive, which we call the provincial divan, in 1970, and in 1999 I was what we call the potentate of the Shrine, which is the chief executive officer, I guess, for Saskatchewan. And that was a very rewarding experience for me, because in those 10 years that my wife Jeannie and I traveled a lot and to various parts throughout the province and Canada and the United States, we met a lot of very fine people.
An involvement Ron continues to this day, playing snare drum in the local band and traveling to participate with the band in many of the local summer parades and festivals across the region. Always first and foremost at the top of Ron's priorities has been the health of his patients, which is just one of the reasons he became a board member of the Cypress Health Region. Serving as its vice chair since 2002 and its interim chair in 2007, when Swift Current's new regional hospital was officially opened. Ron has reached a personal milestone of being a licensed pharmacist for 50 years and has been awarded the Bowl of Hygeia for his involvement as a pharmacist in the community. Ron says he'll bide his time working in the store when needed, traveling when he can with his wife Jeannie, and doing what he loves best of all, connecting with his customers, people who after 45 years he now calls friends.
These are the people that, if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have a business. We've been very fortunate to have had a strong customer loyalty and base in the Southwest and in the city, and that to me, that's very important to maintain my relationship with my customers as a friend. Basically, I feel that I'm their friend and they're my friend, and I love to talk, as you may gather, and so I spend a lot of time doing that.
Ron Heeg, one of the 5 most fascinating people in Swift Current.